Okay. And then that water goes to here, where it goes underneath this horse barn. So this is the one spring house. Hey, Molly. And then into the horse barn. How old school is that? Boy, it is a lot nicer in here. Hey, buddy. How's a big bear? Nice cooler and dryer. Well, maybe not dryer. Excuse me. Sorry, buddy. Okay, I'll check the water. New bridge. It's been following the water. Now, I'm not sure where it drops out. Could be right over in here. And then carries on down to the stream, along which you can see all those trees growing. And it's usually moving along pretty well, actually, the stream. So you can see the new wooden fencing there, giving them more room on the inner pen. This section's a little bit more intermittent. Water table is usually a little farther underground. Okay, we got plenty of water. Nice and warm, but plenty. Excellent. And we're at about the lowest point then, here for the farm, on the floodplain. And if you were to go just downstream, 200 yards, there's another farmer who's got cattle and a mess. But it's his farm. How not to have a mess. And you can still have cattle. Do a little something like this. Fencing is not that expensive. Comes with the game. And they'd split these, I'm not sure how many acres we got down here. Maybe 10. I don't know, say 8 or 10 or so. They split this up into multiple fields, and of course, shimmying the critters around. So they fertilize and eat down each field without having to eat down too far, where there's a propensity for parasites, snails, and other disease-carrying vectors, which grow closer to that interface with the ground. It's, especially with alpacas, that's one of the really big things. You want to have a nice lush field, which means you got to think about your carrying capacity. This isn't something I brought up yet, but carrying capacity is how many somethings can you put on a certain amount of space. Keep them all alive without degrading the ability of that same space to continue sustainably and forever a certain population upon which you predate. Or gather wool, like in this case. But, these are all essentially family animals, you could almost say. The guys have been raising sheep at least 20 years. I'm not exactly sure how long. But that's top to bottom then. The path of the water on this farm and how it's accessed from point to point to make sustainable, without electricity, the farm itself for, in this case, sheep and goats. Of course, you could do alpacas. They come with their own set of special dietary and parasite issues because they're not native here to Pennsylvania. Though it certainly can be done, it just got to do a lot more shots. You got to really watch your fields. You got to make sure you don't put too many animals on your fields. Well, never seen this before, but that's all dragonflies. And they're going after the insects that are coming up from the grass here. We just had a heavy rain, and it's nice. Sun just went down, not entirely, but it's clouded, so temperatures come down some. And just look at that. So they're going after little flies and like coming right up off of the ground, and I just never seen this before. So I wanted to record it really quick. And the process then, when bugs, just like mayflies, come up from the water, it's called masting, where there's so damn many of them that the predators can't possibly get all of them, and some of them survive, so their genetic material can be carried on to the next generation. And it seems, oh, that was a good one right there, that if, why is that? There we go, sorry. It's all fuzzed out. It's got to be hundreds of dragonflies, and they're big too. So I'm assuming the rain provided enough moisture for eggs to finish and then hatch. And now they're coming right here, right in front of us. Molly, she's eating your food. That's right. This one had been bottle fed. It's a good girl. Hey, honey bear. Yeah, just wanted to point out then that animals ain't dumb. They come in out of the storm. How about them, Molly girl? Huh? Seriously, I'm starting wondering how much that lamb is eating your food. That one's all naked. It's not too hot out though. It's probably only in the 70s right now, but it's warming up. A little bit more of the horse barn. Got Grimmy being a big, wonderful bear. Hey, buddy. You looking at my eye? Everybody else staying chill. And this had been a horse barn. It's been a while since I've had horses. One thing I didn't catch yesterday, all the roofs are very, very light colored or white. Cutting down on heat coming in, bouncing that back directly up into the atmosphere. Of course, there's nothing in there that's all passively heated or cooled in there. But keeping the temperatures down a little bit inside certainly helps throughout the year. And it's a roof for the last good 50 years. Nice spots for solar. Wink, wink. Although I'm not sure an 1830s barn is likely to be the code to hold it. Although it could. Solar doesn't weigh that much. Wanted to show you the other side of the house. The conifers in the back on the north side. Deciduous out front. Lighter colored roofs. Downhill. The whole run, actually looking at it, you can just about, yeah, actually right there in the corner you can see the spring house. So from the spring house to, from the spring to the spring house to the bottom set of troughs is, I don't know, 150 yards maybe? But with a collection basin up above it, it rises, maybe 150, 200 feet. Just real guessing here. and what I say yesterday, maybe 60 acres, with a lot of really beautiful bottomland. And that's really a nice thing about this property. Why it was so successful. You could have all sorts of farming because you had multiple environments. You had lowland wetlands, which is represented by that riparian buffer there that you can see, all the way to hay up on top, and that's across the way there. That is a whole bunch of milkweed, good for butterflies, which are also pollinators and go a very long way in some cases. I did talk to Will and Fred then. 1830s. I was off by about 30 years. It's 30 years older than I thought, another whole generation. So 150 years since this place first was settled. Same family ever since then. It's really a beautiful piece of property too. Seeing up into the rest of the loop there. You can see the ridgeline all the way along there. Like I mentioned, that same ridgeline then, in the background, background, goes all the way to Canoe Creek. Okay, so from top to bottom, answering our own question, how do you design a farm without electricity to be sustainable? Water control, essentially. So I'm going to end on that note. Thank you very much for taking some time to listen with us. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Grimmy. Thank you, of course, to Charlie. Thank you, of course, to Fred and Will, whose home they let me share or Airbnb for a weekend. This is Colin signing off.